Hey guys, what's up? This is Vaper Shawn, second half of Vapertron, with another Myth Monday. Now, as you can tell by the title, I'm dealing with not as well-known a myth, but certainly rather unsettling one for those who believe it. To really understand what I'm going to say, though, I first need to explain one thing. A lot of people, they think of vapors, whether it be a dripper, a tank, a pen style vapor, whatever, as e-cigs. Technically, the term e-cigs refers to the ones that actually look like cigarettes. The ones you just puff on normally like a cigarette. It's got an automatic switch. As soon as you start inhaling through it, it kicks in and cuts off when you stop inhaling through it. And some of them you can get disposable cartridges. Basically pre-filled cartridges that you just buy, open, put onto your battery, and then when it's empty you throw it away and grab a new one. So that's an important factor for what I'm about to say. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there is an idea out there that vapors and e-cigs have an ingredient in them that's basically the same thing that you find in antifreeze. The chemical they're referring to is diethylene glycol. Now think about that, diethylene glycol. If you know the ingredients in your vape juice, in the standard vape juice, well, this one is actually more VG, but in regular eJuice, you know that what's in it is propylene glycol. Excuse me. Sorry. Now, some people may say, well, gee, it's still a glycol. But then that's kind of like looking at a bottle of rum and saying, well, gee, that's the same thing as rubbing alcohol. No, it isn't. Diethylene glycol is not in eJuice. Certainly not in this, certainly not in any of the eJuices that we've ever bought. A standard eJuice has 4 ingredients if you have nicotine, 3 if it's no nic. There's the propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, flavoring, and of course the nicotine, if you use a juice that has that. Now, if you don't use a juice that has that, then that, like I said, brings it down to 3. The reason that this has happened, however, is because some of the disposable cartridges that you can get for e-cigs, as opposed to vapors, do contain diethylene glycol. Most of these are made by manufacturers that are owned by, big surprise here, tobacco companies. Now, I'm not exactly a huge conspiracy theorist. I couldn't even say that with a straight face, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. A little bit, not, huge, woo. But, think about it here. Who would stand to gain from these things having a bad reputation? Now, it could be that I'm kind of going out on a limb here and way off base, and this isn't accurate at all. So, take this with a grain of salt. This is just kind of a little theory that's kind of brewing up here, that this may actually be, kind of for the purpose of giving them bad reputation. But whether that's true or not, whether that's relevant or not, to be honest, whether that's true or not, actually, is actually somewhat irrelevant. What it really comes down to is that the diethylene glycol, the ingredient that is found actually in antifreeze, is only in some of the disposable cartridges. And I want to emphasize here, some of them. So if you want to avoid this, there are 2 options. First, if you have an e-cig instead of a pen style vapor or a mod, and you want to use the disposable cartridges, just pay attention to the ingredients in it. Do your research, find out what's actually in it. A simpler option is to either, if you really want to use an e-cig instead of a vapor, get a refillable cartridge, not the pre-filled one. Not only will this allow you to use actual e-juices that have propylene glycol, not diethylene glycol, but it also opens a wide range of additional flavors you can use, instead of just being limited to what's available in the pre-filled cartridges. The other option, the other flip side of that option is if you're not entirely intent on keeping with the e-cig instead of a vapor, go out if you want that level of vapor, get an pen style vapor, the EVOD for example. Or if you really want the strong flavors, go and get a mud and a sub-ohm tank or a dripper, something along those lines. That way you can get the juice, like I said, the same as you could with the refillable cartridges, and avoid this issue altogether. So if you hear people saying, oh, that's got antifreeze in it, or it's got ingredients from antifreeze in it, just don't worry about it. If you've got if you're actually buying juice to put into a dripper, a tank, or if you've got a refillable cartridge that you're putting juice that you bought into it, no, you don't have to worry about it. I have never even heard of a manufacturer of eJuice for refillables that uses this ingredient. Um, if you really want to be extra cautious, just keep an eye out, keep an eye on the ingredients list. Any reputable company is going to have a list of ingredients. And of course, even if it doesn't have the actual ingredients listed on the bottle, they should have no problem whatsoever with telling you exactly what's in it. And like I said, there's pretty much 4 ingredients: VG, PG, flavoring, nicotine. And that drops down to 3 if you use the no nic. So, this is a pretty short Myth Monday video because it is actually a very simple issue, very easy to dispel by simply pointing out, hey, you know what? No, it's not there. It's simply not there. Okay? Unless you're using the disposable cartridges, this is something you don't need to worry about at all. So, with a very quick, simple to dispel Myth Monday, this is Vaper Shawn signing off.